Hi, I'm Jason. I'm 28 from the United Kingdom in London. I'm in the central part of the city. This is my first time on YouTube. I'm here to discuss mental and psychological and friendship issues. I'd first like to start with, I'm going to get to the point on this because on YouTube, as it's my first time, I went into the settings and a setting which I was looking for was currently unavailable at the time. So it's given me a limit of 10 minutes. So I have to do this quickly. I'd like to discuss a lot of suffering across the world. A lot of people don't really have the courage to discuss the issues I'm about to discuss. A lot of people suffer in silence when they've been hurt, and when something's said to them, or when they've been physically hurt, and it really does something to a person, and a lot of people aren't aware of this, and a lot of people do not have the courage in the world to come forward and discuss this, as what I am today. I've come across a lot of people in my life who have suffered, and they become defensive because I'm trying to relate to them with that. You could say if there was 1 trillion people in this country, or 1 trillion people, or 10 trillion people in the whole world for that matter, you will only find 1,000 of us kind of people, which are, we look into people's lives, we like to take away their suffering with certain words, because for a person to suffer is the wrong kind of thing. They shouldn't have to suffer with what goes on around them. Now, the world needs to look at this situation, because the world is suffering more and more and more every day, and it's through our own faults and negligence. I'd like to just basically say I'm one of them people. As I say, if there was 10 trillion people in this planet, I'm one out of 1,000 of people like me, because there's a very, very, very small amount of us kind of people that will sit there, listen to you, and use certain conversation to kind of take away your pain and discomfort and unhappiness from your life. A lot of people have told me that I've changed their lives quite dramatically when they've suffered through psychological and mental things. Like, for example, a while ago, in another town in my country, a person was like, he had the body language of someone who was suffering, had a very, very bad past. He came to me and we got to know each other, we started to speak, and I started to realise something about it. He could sense I was the kind of person who would listen to him. So in effect, I decided to push the issue slightly, and he became defensive and tried to use words in effect to keep away your trespassing into my feelings, etc. And at that point on, I decided to step back for 5 minutes, and then eventually I decided to communicate with him again. And over a period of time, days, maybe a few weeks, over 3 years of knowing this person, which I've lost contact with temporarily, how can I put it? He was suffering so much inside, he had so much hurt inside of him, that I decided that I was going to communicate with that part of him. And he didn't like it at first, but he could see that I wasn't just going to sit there and let him suffer with what he was suffering with. And the pain and the hurt inside someone, it stays with you for a very, very long time. I myself also have been hurt by things, but sometimes you've got to stand up and you've got to be very, very strong. You can't just sit there and suffer in silence. Suffering in silence is what will make you worse. If you, for example, if anyone out there ever came into a contact with a person just like me, we would know you were suffering. We wouldn't want you to suffer in pain. We would actually communicate with you. You may not like that at first, but we would do something about it. We're very, very highly sensitive, because when something comes to you that hurts you or hurts your feelings, this is how it works. Something could be said to you, for example, and it goes to your heart, and your heart and your feelings, they adjust, it goes to your mind, and your mind then thinks things, and it changes the way that you are psychologically. Your heart feels something, your mind thinks on that, and then you act. Now, some people, they don't do that. They they jump to doing something very, very serious and very, very dangerous and very, very bad. I've come across people that have attempted to commit suicide, and I've actually sat there and actually stopped them because they feel so bad. So as I say, like, I've got a limited amount of time, so at the moment I can't go too much further than I already have. But I want you people to know this. If any of you ever come into contact with me, or any one of us 1,000 people, 1 in a million people that we are, then we're going to see that you're suffering, and we're going to want to take away your pain, because we don't like to see people suffering. We know what to do. We know how to listen to you, we know how to communicate with you, and we know how to help you. So if you're suffering with pain, don't be shy. Just talk about it. Tell somebody. Tell someone that you know will take it seriously, because there's only 1,000 people in this world that will listen to you and will take you seriously, because I do understand there's a lot of people out there that don't take the situation seriously when you're suffering in silence and you're suffering in yourself, because we know that inside of you, if you're suffering, we know you can feel it in your heart. We know you can. We know you can. And when you do that, we're going to pick up on that and we're going to do something about it, because it's not right that you suffer. Anyway, I'd like to say thank you very much for listening to this. I know there's a lot of people out there that are suffering in silence. Please don't do that. Please look to someone. Please let somebody help you, because if you don't, it's going to do a lot of psychological damage to you, and it's going to change your life dramatically. But if you come into contact with someone like me, I will reverse that, or any of them 1,000 other people that are out there. We will reverse that, because we don't want you to suffer. Thanks for watching.